Walk the Moon, 1 foot, 748 at Mix97. Dr. Julie Gowthorpe this morning, 1 foot in front of the other, conquering self-doubt. Dr. Julie, what is self-doubt?
Well, self-doubt is a lack of confidence in yourself or your abilities. So first, let's just identify that it's normal to have self-doubt. You don't have something wrong with you if you experience self-doubt. In fact, it can help us be reflective and mindful on how our decisions are made. But too much self-doubt, it's like anything when we have too much, like too much cheesecake might be good a little bit, but too much of it is negative. And too much self-doubt gets in the way of our life experience and the goals that we set for ourselves. So the good thing about self-doubt, though, is that it's something that we can change. I've seen young people, they would say things like, I would really like to be part of a team, but I'm not good enough. Or I'd really like to ask this girl out, but I know she won't find me attractive. Other people on an adult level, sometimes you'll hear a person say, my spouse is really awful to me. They call me names. They treat me badly, but I don't believe that I can do it on my own. So all that is about self-doubt. So those are the kind of self-doubting statements that we need to put the brakes on. And at the same time, not enough self-doubt or reflection can result in impulsive behavior. So you just have to be conscious about self-doubt and how it is affecting your life.
How do you deal with the critics that put the self-doubt in some people out there? Because I feel that I make a lot of decisions, most of them confidently, and I feel good about that. But then critics always like to step in and put their 2 cents into your life, telling you like what you did wrong or what's not right for that, da-da-da-da-da-da, right? So how do you deal with those people who try to encourage self-doubt in you in the first place?
Well, I can give kind of maybe a personal example on that because I was thinking about, self-doubt and trying to figure out, how do people deal with it when it comes up. So I thought back years ago when I was going to move to Belleville and join a private practice that was in place. And I did have a full-time salaried job in Ottawa. And we had a house in Ottawa. And my husband, Eric, he speaks French. And we were going to move to Belleville, which at that time was certainly predominantly English as it is today. But at that time, it was even more so. But I did accept this position. And a family friend had said, I think in an effort to be helpful, but they said, well, don't you think that that's maybe putting the cart before the horse? And that's that kind of self-doubt where you start to think, well, maybe this isn't the right decision. But that statement, I allowed it to resonate with me in a positive way. And I realized that, with self-confidence and an ability and a willingness to change your plan, that you just need to put one foot in front of the other, just like the song says.
When you talk about self-doubt, if we dug a little deeper, and it would come back to a lack of confidence by the individual maybe in making a decision. But is it anywhere reflected on how we were raised that someone might have self-doubt? Because maybe the encouragement from the parents or siblings or educators that they just didn't feel, because they're always told, no, you're not good enough. But maybe they didn't have it. And they just wanted to be sitting back rather than being a leader and challenging themselves.
That's right. So if you're dealing with feelings of self-doubt, a good way to, start at the process of dealing with it is that you start to identify where it came from. So that might be, what experiences are you, having self-doubt about? Like, is it a work performance issue? Like those kinds of things that you just gave as an example, Sean, that might play out in a work issue or, just worry that if I take things on, I won't be successful. So if you can understand, by looking at your past experiences, talk about it, be thoughtful about it, you may be able to identify where that came from. So maybe it did come from something a teacher said to you. Maybe it did come from, trying something and then it not working out. We're all vulnerable to feeling insecure, for sure.
I think we all have a role, though. If you sense that somebody has self-doubt, that you can kind of coach or encourage them, because I'll share a quick story here. There's a chap that works in this building. And about a year and a half ago, he came to me and said, hey, I'd really like to try this. What do you think? I didn't think he had the confidence. I said, you can do this. A year and a half later, this guy is just doing so well. He's learned so much. He's grown so much in our business. And I think a year and a half ago, he had that self-doubt, but now he's a multitasker doing so many quality things for this company.
Do you know somebody even on a grander scale? I watched a quick clip of Jay-Z, who everybody knows who Jay-Z is, multi-million, billion. He's actually a billionaire. But back before Jay-Z sold one of his first major albums, his uncle said to him, you can't sell 1 million records. Like, what are you doing? Jay-Z said, I tell this story all the time because he took at that point when his uncle said that to him, harmlessly saying that, he realized it was his uncle saying to him, I can't sell 1 million records, and putting that thought on him. So Jay-Z said to his uncle, no, you can't sell 1 million records, but I'm going to. And he did. So it's all about, some people project their fears and their criticisms and their fears on you because it's not what they can do. So they say to you, you can't do that. So then the person with self-doubt goes, maybe I can't do that.
That's right. And it's not always that they can't do it. They fear doing it, right? They fear the work that it takes to, make a shift, put one foot in front of the other, and really work it, because he didn't sell 1 million records just by saying he was going to do it, right?
No.
He put a lot of work
believed
into
in
it,
himself.
right? And he was willing to do the work. And that's the key to being able to overcome self-doubt, is you show yourself that you can do it.
Back with Dr. Julie Moments, 7:53 at the Mix.
Mazda knows that passionate drivers...
Sam Hunt's Mix97. Dr. Julie Gowthorpe in this morning, talking self-doubt. How do we overcome self-doubt, Dr. Julie?
Well, first of all, as we said earlier, you have to identify what the experiences are that are bringing up that self-doubt. We all fear something, and, is it rejection? Is it fear of not meeting a performance? Is it worry about being judged? That's a big one that people have. They worry that people are not going to be okay with their decision, or they're worried that if they fail, people will judge them. You need to understand, and that's where we talk about looking back and reflecting on what might have led to this belief system that you can't do something or that you lack the ability. Practice self-compassion. And we were just talking off air about, how we as humans, need to support other people rather than introducing self-doubt. So this means that we do not all need to be above average. We do not all need to be perfect. If we are mindful and we show humanity and self-kindness, self-doubt no longer has to be an obstacle, because we're okay with trying things. And if it doesn't work out, well, then we do something different, but it's a learning process. And finally, action. And this is where that song came in. And from now on, I will leave the music direction up to all of you. But the song, put one foot in front of the other. And there is an old song that is about that as well. But it really is about just breaking off each chunk and taking a step forward. Because even if the step doesn't work out how you thought it was going to, you can change direction and you'll be fine.
Julie, this leads me to remember a very famous quote by somebody that I have a lot of respect for. And he has often said this to me and probably hundreds of other people. How do you eat an elephant, Sean?
One piece at a time.
See?
There you go.
There you go.
Thanks for the conversation this morning. Dr. Julie Gowthorpe is in on Wednesday mornings. We'll have the audio if you missed some of today's show up at mix97.com.
For more help, Julie,
feel free to give us a call at 613-962-1852.
Stanley Cup playoffs start tonight. Who's your money on?
Oh, think about that, Julie, because your husband cheers for different teams.
Yeah, I'm not going to place any money, so I'm not going to answer that question.
I like that.
You have self-doubt in the team that you...
Self